Well, hello everyone. I'm John McLeroy, and I'm one of your hosts for the Florida Aviation Network. And we are broadcasting live and in the clear from Aerospace Discovery at the Florida Air Museum at the Sun and Fun Complex in Lakeland, Florida. We're here during the 44th annual Sun and Fun Fly-In and Expositions. And our guest today is the famous Eugene Nock. Gene, how are you doing?
Very good. Nice
Welcome
to see you
the
again.
show again.
Thank you
You
very
bet.
much.
Well, I love interviewing you, and so does the rest of the crew. We know you well. You've been a constant gift to us as we learn about what's going on in your world. So welcome once again.
Thank you very much. I appreciate those kind words.
We like hearing your story. You know, we're
Thank
going to
you.
go over it again, and this won't be the last time. So what do you think?
Great.
Let's hear about what it's like to fly the BatCopter.
Well, I think a lot of my friends know about the BatCopter because we've had it here at Sun and Fun quite a few times, and some of the other shows in the United States, and also with you guys, the Florida Aviation Network, which is always our pleasure to be part of. I enjoy owning and flying the original BatCopter. Of course, I think everybody knows we own one of the BatMobiles also.
And his son Garrett is the one that drives that during your show.
Wilson. Yeah, Wilson.
Wilson. Oh.
Garrett is my little one here. He came to visit. I have a 10-year-old.
We actually have film of Garrett in the, so,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, Wilson,
It's hard to keep up. I have 5 sons.
Thank you. You can tell I'm having
No,
trouble.
that's it. 5 sons. 5.
Attaboy.
Yeah. All ages, from 35 down to 3 years old. So Wilson, George Wilson, he's a private pilot. He is also driving the BatMobile when we do these events. One of the ones that we do is, usually this. We're usually in the air show. This year we're doing static and offering air tours. We get so many requests to go for a ride in the BatCopter. It's amazing how many. And you want to be able to make that available. So we took 1 year off from being in the air show portion, just so we're available right outside of the Aviation High School.
I watched you guys doing ride after ride after ride yesterday in the most
yeah.
beautiful weather.
Yeah.
And I know people walked out of there just with grins.
They're beaming, yeah. Because it is of course a helicopter ride, but it's the original BatCopter. What you will see inside there, it's adorned with various autographs from the TV series actors, but also over the years, because of the Comic Cons, New York Comic Con, Chicago Comic Con, MegaCon in Orlando, these different shows, I have had the pleasure to meet some of the DC Comics artists, animators, people who either did ink work or people actually illustrated or drew the comic books in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and if people follow comic books at all, every different years there was a different style. So if you come and take a look at the BatCopter, that part is free for people to come and see it.
Oh, it's neat.
You'll see literally from the 50s to the current, people who drew the images of Batman, who are DC Comics illustrators. It's all in there, so it's kind of cool.
Wow. And we have a shot of Lori Bratcher, who is
there
probably
she is,
your
yeah.
biggest fan.
And we love her too, because you know her very well.
Of course,
right? Okay.
yeah.
There's a lot there. First of all, she's a mother of 4, so I have that in common with her. I have 6 total kids, so we like that. We like kids. Second, she's an educator, and she has an absolute draw power to inspire young people. So I think that's where her and I very much align with our interest when it comes to aviation, and I think that's why she's here at this TV channel. And it also helps when we bring something like the BatCopter. She had about 35 students from her area schools that came.
That's
today.
why she's not on camera today right now. She's actually with those students today. She'll be back tomorrow, so maybe you'll get to revisit. But at Sebring this year,
Look at that. Yeah,
she went out there and got to ride around.
Yeah, well, I gave her a ride around Sebring. By the way, is a huge property. People don't realize.
No, it is a massive piece of property.
It literally, I think we went for about a 5-minute ride, and I don't think we ever left the airport property. That's how big it is.
Well, I want to introduce you to Mackenzie Barber, who's now sitting
Mackenzie.
next to you.
I heard all about you. I am so excited to talk to you.
I'm glad I get to
very,
talk to you
very
too.
proud of you. You please tell us some of your credentials, because I'm impressed with the things I heard.
Well, right now I'm a student at Central Florida Aerospace Academy across the street.
Yeah.
I'm working at the Florida Air Museum over the summer. I just was awarded my solo scholarship for my private pilot's license this week, and so I'll be starting that.
Oh, great. That is so exciting.
Isn't that great to hear?
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
Mackenzie, there's a lead in to the reason he's asking because, Eugene Nock
Well,
is...
I think we've met before, I think, across here with Mike Z and the rest of the group.
Probably.
Okay. I own the BatMobile and the BatCopter. I think you've seen it in there before, right?
Yes.
Okay. So one of the main reasons that and how I use the BatMobile, BatCopter as an attraction to air shows is kind of like the Air Force and the Navy and the Army and the Marines, and they all have their own flying divisions at air shows. It is to inspire young people to want to learn how to fly. And then next, to inspire young adults like you in this age group to do exactly what you're doing, and then later consider going into the Air Force or the Navy, into the flying forces, military, the aviation parts of it. That is completely what it makes my blood circulate.
Absolutely.
I like that. So when they told me backstage that we were going to be talking to you, I was real excited about that, because that is exactly absolute core. So thank you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, really am proud of you.
How about that? You didn't know that was coming, did you,
yeah,
Mackenzie? Yeah. You're really talking to a champion who takes the time to get to know people like yourself. And if you're looking for a mentor, when you're doing these interviews and you're meeting people like this, Gene's going to be one of your advocates.
Oh yeah, no, we're real excited. Now you know Lori too, right? Lori?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, she's the same thing. She's going to help her too, I'm sure. Right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how. We've just met too today,
okay.
So I'm learning a little bit about what she's up to as well. But the future's pretty bright for individuals like yourself that are working really hard, but they may not have really thought about the military in terms of an option for them. For you, it's a little bit early, but still quite the option.
And again, we're just saying that is a general direction. Obviously, you like aviation, and I understand. Are you gifted or twice gifted, or what is your background?
For
Your scholastic. You're top
well,
of
she's
your
in
class.
advanced AP stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm talking
AP placement courses.
and I'm
things like
taking
that.
dual enrollment classes. I'll
Okay.
graduate with my 2-year degree. I'm actually
Oh,
in
wow.
JROTC at the high school.
Okay, yeah, that's fantastic.
And how's your GPA? And you're going to be
Obviously, very good.
Yes.
yeah. That's a
All right,
bright
so I'm
star on
giggling
the
because
horizon there.
That's what we want. That's what we want for our. You make the whole country look good. People like her.
Absolutely,
That's exactly
right?
what we're looking for.
So I'm going to ask you to go and do a out in the field interview. We'll get you. Lori will be so jealous because we'll have you go take your picture in the helicopter, and Gene will be there, and you get to see the inside of the original BatCopter.
Yeah.
3079 Golf. So. Well, tell us a little bit about how the show's going. So you've been giving rides.
Yeah, well, we've made, this was something that has been in the works for quite a while. We're usually in the air show, and that's a big part of what the BatCopter, BatMobile does. And, we've been at Oshkosh, Sun and Fun, of course, multiple times. And a lot of the area shows out there, let's see, we did Chicago Air and Water Show, Lauderdale Air and Sea Show, we did Detroit Ypsilanti Show, which is a very nice show. And then one of the bigger ones is Cleveland National Air Show. That's amazingly large, and the Navy was there. It's just big. Then we did Oceana last year, which is at the Naval Base in Virginia. That was fantastic.
Miami's coming up. Are you going to be down there this year?
We have talked to them. Everybody's on rotation, so yeah, it'll happen sooner or later. But one of our favorite shows, of course, is Sun and Fun, because this is a different scope. This is to inspire young people. This is about general aviation. The newest, most innovative thing there is these days is this LSA, or light sport aviation. Kind of the drive from LSA came from Europe.
Yes.
In Europe, everybody has to remember, in America, this great country we live in, we own the sky and the ground, and we pay property tax, the highway, all that.
No permission required.
But you can fly your airplane gratis, because that's part of what we are as American citizens. You can land in Plant City, you can land in Lakeland. Some airports have landing fees. That is a particular thing, but not in general. So we have quite a few potential pilots that come to America from Ireland, Germany, Spain, Italy. These are the various countries that have heavy landing fees. So if you want to take a student out, I'm a CFI and a double I. If you go to Switzerland and want to take a student out to go through touch and goes, you're going to be paying $40 American per landing for those touch and goes.
Right.
So once you start, it doesn't sound too much until you know how it is. To get 40 hours, there's a lot of touch and goes. It'll be very expensive. Many students come to America. So what we were talking about with this LSA, which is, you know, I'm adjacent to them right now, a lot of those aircraft are lighter sport, less requirements, it goes by weight, so it's cheaper for them to have those kind of aircraft in that country. It is completely taken off over here. A lot of those people keep those kind of machines. They articulate, the wings fold up.
Hey, listen,
I don't know if you saw, it's so
I
cool,
want to tell you that the
They're
light sport
sophisticated.
helicopters
Yeah,
are
they're
even
very
coming
nice,
out where
yeah.
it's like.
Well, I was flying in pattern today with one of them, called the Safari, and then there's
Right.
one called the
Beautiful.
the 500, which is also pretty cool.
The Mini 500.
Yeah.
That thing is amazing.
Yeah.
A turbine too.
Yeah, very good looking.
Yeah, sure enough.
And you know, they have a scope that goes from reasonable pricing with the flying wings, you know, the Rotax engine, to, you know, they go for a couple $100,000. I mean, they've got some that are way
the
out there.
engineering is
Oh,
amazing,
yeah.
and it's worth every penny.
That's right. And now you guys inside your school over there, did you see the little German airplane that you have, the white one with the dual throttle? It is a LSA also.
I don't know if I have seen that one.
Yeah, I'll show it to you when we go over there. You got to sit inside this airplane. It's very nicely built. Yeah, LSA airplane.
Love it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a Sea Ray guy, one of the amphibians, and so we, you know, we've got this incredible aqua go-kart, you know, here for Central Florida. It's the perfect flying machine. You can land on the water, you can land on the land, and just
That's
like you say, it's just as easy and free as you can. But it's also got a glass cockpit that would rival the space shuttle. So the advances in avionics and.
Were you at the Sebring show?
I was.
Okay. Did you? Now that you brought that up, did you see some of the instrument panels on some of these LSA?
Well, I'm.
I mean, I went, wow.
Yeah.
It's like they have this amazing. NASA. They have this amazing amount of technology in there, and then they built their airplane around it. You know, it's like.
Well, I wet my finger and stick it out of the window for airspeed, and sometimes I'll just spit and count for how high I am off the ground.
Wow.
That's the way I like to fly.
High tech.
You know, so LCD screens, you know, they have to be cleaned and.
Yeah. No. All joking aside, all I mean is that the moving map color GPS that is in some of these newer aircraft is amazing.
It rivals the best of.
Then now in 2020, all of our flying machines, the BatCopter just got its
the ADSB?
Yeah, ADSB in and out. We're using the Lynx 3, which is a very good system.
Nice.
Yeah, and you know, that thing has its own GPS in it also. It requires a extra GPS antenna, but there's 4 settings on it, different kind of images on there, but one of them literally tells you the end number of all the aircraft that are around you, because that's what it's doing. So we now are in the less than 2 years, the whole entire United States, every flying machine that's legal will have that on board, including the BatCopter. So it is equal to the airliners, and of course what the tower is saying, it is going to help everybody. There's no question about the separation and the control of all of this. You know. I
agree. I can't wait. Our Citation is getting wired up for it now, and it's going to be quite the nice plus.
What are you going to use?
The Cessna is going to be Honeywell.
Okay.
Yep. Wired in through the transponder, just completely seamless. So I'm looking forward to that. But Mackenzie, have you ever thought about rotorcraft rating?
My dad's been trying to get me into that. He's with the police department in Tampa, and he's loved their aviation unit over there. So he's always been, you know, saying, you know, you could do this with the helicopters.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd like to meet your dad. I probably have met him. I know the Tampa PD. They fly a Long Ranger, and then the sheriff department too. Hillsborough. You're in Hillsborough County?
I actually live in Lakeland, but he works with the police department. He's not in the aviation unit, but he's got friends who are.
Yeah.
He's just always admired it.
That's very good.
Gene, let's step back and talk about when you learned to fly. You know, we were all looking at, we had our fingers through the fence in the parking lot, looking at the airplanes and helicopters.
So this is, you know, we're in the great state of Florida. I think my background is entertainment. My dad was a producer and entertainer for many years as I was growing up, and my first day to want to learn how to fly was 1972, St. Pete Airport, the Clearwater, and there was a civic center there. There was a show called Disney on Parade, a traveling tour show that was Disney owned, and my dad was an entertainer producer on it. So I was just a 12-year-old, and I just fell in love with the 172s, the high wings flying right over us all day long. So I asked and asked. Finally, Dad took me over there, paid for a Discovery flight back then in 1972. I was absolutely hooked. But you had to wait until I was 17 to literally start flying and do it. So from 1977 to today, I have never taken a day off from flying. I breathe flying, and I fly seaplanes. I'm a commercial seaplane pilot. I flew seaplanes for a living for about 3 years, and I enjoyed that. Then I'm a commercial helicopter, and of course, you know, people know about the BatCopter, but I fly a full range of machines like that. And then I'm an airline transport, airplane, multi-engine, and commercial C, I think I said that, and then CFI, CFII, and advanced ground instructor. That's my background. Yeah. And I think it's a little over 14,000 hours.
Awesome.
Safe
I love
flight.
it.
Yeah.
I love that very much. And, you know, we have similar backgrounds in that regard. I can fly a helicopter, but I haven't gotten the rating yet.
But you're a Citation guy now?
Yeah, I fly a high-performance Citation 10 professionally, have an airline background and all that. But, you know, I think that having that rotor across that hybrid rating and that understanding of you know, how that
Well,
works.
I've always had this attitude about, you know, 3 different things: a seaplane, a helicopter, or an airplane, right? It's when you're sitting in that seat and you look at that instrument panel and read the checklist, that's what we're flying today. And that's what's in this head.
Right.
You ever flying a Chieftain or a Bandit? I'm a Bandit captain, E-110, if you remember those.
Yeah, sure.
Flown your Citation, the early model ones, I like those. Flown the Learjets, 23, 24, 25.
Right.
And that's what you're flying. Faster on final, maneuvering speed, everything's faster. Then you slow it down, get into a seaplane, then you got to think seaplane, especially amphib. Amphib with the wheels up and down, there's a little, you have to remember things.
Gotcha.
Oh my gosh.
50% of all the incidents and accidents
are
are
a
from
very
that one
simple
switch.
thing, right?
Yeah, sure enough.
One of my favorite seaplanes to fly is a 185 Skywagon on straight floats, PK 3500.
Well, we don't see too many of those in the parking lot out here today because of
but,
straight floats.
Yeah, but that's a real working.
Machine,
that's
right?
a real working seaplane.
Yeah. Is that what you flew commercially?
Yes.
Where?
I was up in Wisconsin on a large lake.
How about that?
Yeah, and so we flew 3 summers selling tours with that thing, and you get pretty good.
Yeah, I bet you do.
You know, quite a few flights, and enjoyable. And that Cessna does a good job with those.
Are you teaching helicopters now? You have your ratings, but
yeah, I do. Yes.
Yeah.
And I also still teach in airplanes also.
I'm going to throw one at you.
Go ahead.
Chuck Aaron is a really good friend of mine.
No, he's a good friend of mine.
Yeah. Have you been able to take his course on helicopter upset?
Actually, no. I'll talk to him about that. We were just at the HAI convention together. We were at a friend of mine was being instilled as the pilot of helicopter pilot of the year, which
wonderful.
was just lately. He owns Niagara Falls helicopters. He has the 407s. He's a Swiss guy, and my family are Swiss, so I sat on his table with him. Chuck Aaron was very close, and of course, him and I have a lot of parallels. We're both air show guys. We're with ICAS, International Council Air Shows. We're both, you know, we breathe helicopters, and then, you know, we have a lot in common. So
his dad was a neighbor of mine, and of course he's a good friend from those days.
Yep.
You know, I just know that the work that he's doing now with you know, as much aerobatics as he's done, he converted that into a course of instruction for upset for commercial guys. You know? Okay. I think it's a great.
I'll reach out to him.
Definitely.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a lot of fun too.
Well, let's jump back to the air show side of things for you with the BatCopter. And so, is Sun and Fun giving rides? Are you going to be doing you're still doing the show this year? It's just at this Sun and Fun you're giving rides. Is that correct?
This year.
Where are you heading to next?
Well, first of all, we have Greg is in charge of the show these days. So we had a communication with him, and we agreed to allow these people who have asked, I mean thousands, that want to go for a ride in the BatCopter. So if it's in the air show, it's very difficult to do that. So we aligned with that thought, and this year was one of those years where we thought we would do this for everybody. And it's working out just fine. We have a lot of happy people.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, have you been flying all morning? I've been here on set, so I
Yeah. We flew this morning, and we're taking a break right now, and then we'll get back out there right after the air show.
And then again tomorrow. Excellent.
We're having, again, of course, Saturday is always that's our biggest day.
Well, when you're actually performing in the show, I'd like to have the audience who hasn't seen your show. Let's take us through. You know, what is it that you're doing with the BatMobile and the BatCopter?
Well, don't forget we have these two very historical icons, you know, of American, what we call, you know, it's a comic book toys, you know, the outreach of it is so strong because Toys R Us and Walmart, Kmart, all of the toy manufacturers have created a BatMobile license and a BatCopter license. So when you come and see these two vehicles, a lot of people have that, you know, not to mention the comic books and the cartoons and all that. So we utilize the Batman, various versions of the Batman theme, including Green Hornet, because Green Hornet was the show at the same time and the BatCopter was in the Green Hornet show. And we have a 6-minute air show act where we operate the the helicopter with the Batmobile, and crisscross goes over really great.
Well, Mackenzie, have you seen their show yet?
I don't think I have. If I did, it was briefly.
Yeah.
I've only been to Sun and Fun the 3 years that I've been at the high school, and all 3 years I've been volunteering with either ROTC or the school. So a lot of times I'm running around doing errands.
Yes.
So, but I'm definitely going to be watching the air show tomorrow and then next year, and
Yep.
I'm going to plan on coming back after I graduate.
Oh, that's great. And we wish you all the luck. We are just so proud of you. Yeah, we're really proud of you. So anyway, you are going to fly the airplanes, single engine.
Yes, sir.
And that's what you're working on right
That's what I'm working on right now.
now. That's fantastic.
She's about to choose her instructor. She's just been awarded a scholarship all the way through solo. So we're thrilled for that. So part of the award was she has to go and interview. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I'll have to go and interview all the flight schools at Lake Linder.
And remember, you're talking to 2 instructors, so we are near and
no,
dear to your heart there.
We wish you luck. No
We
matter
do.
who
We're on your side. in
whoever
that.
you pick. And don't forget the basic flight instruction that you're going to get from that one. And instructors are very important too, but you can always reach out to others.
And we're allowed to use private instructors. It's just for the school, it's easier if we use an institution.
Right. And don't forget, you have a collection of airplanes right there. And you get to know those airplanes and like those airplanes. So that part's great. You're going to have your 150 put back together pretty soon, and the engine's getting overhauled, I saw.
I believe.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Then
but
you have a J3 over there. You have a few airplanes. I've seen them all. They're pretty great. Yep.
Awesome. Have you ever seen somebody, what's the ratio, I'm just thinking off the cuff, what's the ratio of guys that start in rotor and then actually flip over to, because mostly it's starting in fixed and then come to rotor,
let me tell you
right?
this about the airlines industry.
Yeah.
The airline industry has heavily reached out to the Army aviators, helicopter guys.
That's right, I do know that.
When they retire as an Army helicopter pilot, that's all they are, helicopter pilot, boom. They get out, and the airlines are reaching out to them for them to get their credentials. Commercial instrument, of course single multi, and then airline transport. If they can get all that, they'll get a job with the major airlines.
Yeah, how about that?
This has never happened before, and this is a great thing. I've always been a proponent of that because, just like I said before, the person that is the pilot, it doesn't matter what the flying machine we're sitting in, seaplane, helicopter, jet plane, airplane,
Have you ever thought about
same
it?
thing.
I have. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I mean, I've got a lot of options. So.
Yeah.
I think we should start with a ride.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, no, I'll take you for a ride in a BatCopter, and
we'll-
that way you can, I think you'll enjoy it anyway when you see the 0 airspeed departure, vertical, go straight up 500 feet, and then I'll look at you and say, now we're going to do a forward transition, stick forward, move, pull the collector, and all of a sudden, holding your altitude, you accelerate from 0, and you go straight to 100.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's the fun part right there. The approach to landing sometimes, the BatCopter's kind of interesting because it gets contracted to land at events. Like we're going to be at the Turkey Rod Run over in Daytona. That's a Daytona racetrack. We'll be the only flying machine, the only representative of a flying machine. The BatMobile will be there. And that show is the largest hot rod show in the entire United States.
Wow.
I always say this. California may invented
The
hot rod, but the Florida people, we have the biggest hot rod show.
We show it off.
Literally, absolutely, no question about it. So I'm required to, there's this little postage stamp that they give me before we open, not while the people are there.
Wow.
So you'll come in, hover, come down vertically and touch down, shut it off, and that's it. So it's really great.
Awesome.
So I will demo that for you. You'll like it.
Yeah, how about that? What a treat. I think I'm going to be on the Nikon on that event. So,
Yeah. Are you coming out there?
Well, I just want to see the look on her face
Yeah.
when she goes vertical.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I won't be on board, right? But we should at least put maybe a GoPro and get that going on.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Because there's that moment in your life where you just go, this is really cool.
Oh yeah, and I think all of us.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Pros that breathe aviation.
And you can hook them better than most.
That, yeah, but we know we did the right thing. You can see it in somebody's face. Yeah,
yep.
we know that.
Yeah, you bet. Well, we're quickly wrapping this up. Mackenzie, do you have any more questions for Gene?
I do not. It was very nice meeting you.
Very nice to meet you, and good luck for your future. And if you ever need anything from us at our team, the BatCopter people, we're easy to find. You literally Google BatCopter. That's how easy I'm to get a hold of. And you hit, and you look, scroll, and it'll go right to Nock Entertainment, and my number's right there. That's the internet days.
Yep. Gene Nock, the owner and operator, along with his entire family, have been supporting Nock Entertainment with the classic icons of Americana, you know, and television with the BatCopter and the BatMobile. So we just want to thank you once again, Gene. It's always good to hang out with you.
Thank you very much.
You know, and we're going to wrap that up. There you go. That's a last little shot of you looking fine.
Yeah, thanks.
So, and I know people are having a good time with that. So, this is John McLeroy signing off from another great interview with Gene Nock here at the Florida Aviation Network at the 44th Annual Sun and Fun Fly-In and Exposition. We'll see you next time. Thanks.